Recently on YouTube, I've seen a lot of videos talking about how the modern game just isn't that fun anymore. A lot of these people recommend playing beta Minecraft to re-inspire the fun and creativity that the modern game has lost. I recently tried to test the theory of whether or not beta is better by playing a beta mod, Better Than Adventure, so that I would have to learn and discover new things. However, some people wanted to see me play vanilla beta 1.7.3 instead of the mod, to get the real beta experience. So that's what I'm doing here. 24 hours in beta 1.7.3, the so-called golden age of Minecraft. Enjoy the video. Hour 1, I spawned in by the beach, and the first thing I noticed is the super zoomed in FOV, which I can't change. That's going to take some getting used to. The grass is super ugly by the beach, but it got better up in the forest. I started off by punching a tree, making a pick, and digging into the side of this hill to mine some coal and some stone that I saw. Some nice music kicked in, but I remembered I had to mute it for the video's sake. Aw. I made a set of stone tools and decided to build on top of this little hill for the night, instead of trekking all the way up there. I collected some sand and clay from this little pond and then went off killing sheep. I have wool, but I won't be making a bed, as someone in the comments of the last video said the beds kind of ruin the danger of the game, and the beta experience. Plus, not sleeping also makes it easier for me to keep track of when an hour of gameplay has gone by. 3 days and 3 nights. I slayed the trespassers and then it got dark, so I started building up my little shack. I'm doing pretty good for night 1, I think. I even have a roof and a fancy clay patio out front. Real bougie. No floor yet though, we aren't that rich. I made a mine to spend the night in and eventually dug into some iron, so then I headed back up to smelt it. Yay, we can afford a floor now! You know what they say, a house isn't a home until you have 4 walls, a roof, and a floor, and electrical and plumbing all inspected and up to code. I went back to mining and ran into a cave, but I got scared out by the 3 amigos. The sun was out now, so I spent most of the day chopping trees. I broke a cactus and noticed that it's ginormous for some reason. Look, it's way bigger than a normal block. That's weird. At the end of the day, I started planting saplings, but I stayed up too late and I got sniped by a skeleton, so I ran inside. I gave the house some windows, blocks, not panes, because panes didn't exist yet, and then I cooked some food, one by one by one. Then finally, I made some iron tools before heading back into the mines. I cleared out the cave I found earlier and then continued working on the mine until my pickaxe broke. So then I headed back up to the surface, and I saw that the sun was finally out. I have an idea. I want to cover this whole area with sand and cacti and turn it into a cacti island. Cacti island. That works really well, actually. I spent the day working on it, which involved replanting cacti as well as digging a canal between it and the mainland to truly make it an island. I also then widened the gap along the shore to really separate it. I just started to place sand when the night fell, so I headed back home. Not before trying to place some more saplings and getting jumped again. Thankfully though, the monsters are dumb, so I can just hide behind this door. I went back into the mines for the night and hit bedrock, so then I set up a 2-layered strip mine so that I can get the most amount of diamonds possible from this area. Then, the hour was over, so I headed back up the stairs. For hour 2, the whole recording is white. Bruh. So I guess all the footage is ruined, so I'll just recap what I did instead. I finished the cacti island, which involved a lot of digging, but it wasn't that bad. Then I spent most of the days harvesting trees and most of the nights in the mines. It was pretty grindy and boring, so it honestly wasn't that bad of an hour to lose. And oh yeah, of course, I got some off-camera diamonds. Holy moly, that's a lot of creepers. I feel so powerful with his diamond sword. I can kill creepers without having to back up over and over. I recapped what I did last hour, and then I got to work. I mined trees all day, and then when night fell, I went back into the mines, just like I was doing for hour 2. Side note, why does redstone take so long to mine? Like, what's the reason? Because it's kind of just annoying. It's not that rare. Like, why does it need to take 3 times as long as everything else? Whatever. When morning came, I went back up to the surface, and then got started on another project. I want to make a wall around this house to keep all the mobs out, so that I can go outside at night and not be banished to the mines. I marked it out and decided on making a 45 block diameter, so that way it has a single block center and is pretty big. I used a website to tell me how to make a perfect circle, and then followed it to create the outline of the wall. Night was here, and even though it's not fully done yet, it's already sort of helping to keep the mobs out. You see, if there's people that are coming into your land without asking, and you don't want them there, build a wall. Just build a wall. I heard a dog out in the darkness, but I can't go out there, it's dangerous. Who am I kidding? I went out there anyway. I tamed him, and then he helped me fight some skeletons. What a guy. Thanks, dude. I'll name you Stray. Yeah, it's a good dog name. I lit the outer ring and then lit up the base and hid inside until dawn. Once dawn was here, I added crenellations to the wall and then started filling in the ground to level out the inside area. Halfway through though, I decided I wanted all to be 1 block lower than I originally planned because I liked the height of the crenellations. And then after that, I added a wooden ring path around the inner edge of the wall. And then I just kept on leveling the land out. It already looks just as cool as I imagined it being. I love it. I also figured out that you can use both mouse buttons to craft, which almost makes up for the fact that you can't shift click or drag or split items or anything. Crafting is super slow, but this almost makes up for it. Not quite, not really. After that discovery, I watched as a spider climbed right over my wall. So I'll have to design some sort of fix for that. But for now, with the sun rising, hour 3 had come to a close. I finished leveling out the ground, and then I extended the outside of the house down to match the new ground level. I gave it a stairway and added some decorations. Then I made a little plaza in the center of the circle, and afterwards I started building a stairway to heaven. Just kidding, it only goes like 10 blocks up. Up here I want to make a bridge similar to the one in One Year, One World, and I wanted to have a minecart line that goes to different places around the world. I started on it, but I quickly got distracted and ended up cleaning the outside of the castle wall. Then while I was doing that, I had another idea. I want to make a moat, to keep the mobs out better and also just because it looks cool. Every castle needs a moat. I ran out of cobble though, so I just spent the day digging out where it was going to be. Night came, so I went to the mines for some cobblestone. And after my pick died, I came back up to a thunderstorm. Cool. I decided to stay up here anyway and just work on the bridge in the rain. I was adding supports to the bridge when I accidentally fell through into a mob party and almost got killed. But I didn't though, so I'm basically the best. Later, I made a hoe to gather seeds with. I'm not really sure if you need a hoe for seeds in vanilla, but you're doing better than adventure, so I'm just going off that. I watched the sunrise, and just like that, hour 4 had concluded. I finished cleaning up the outside of the wall with the cobble that I just got, and then I went to go get some seeds. Afterwards, I tried to make an entrance gate, but I just gave up because it sucked and it was getting dark. I decorated the garden beds around the house, and then I set up a farming plot. I don't have any water though, and it's too dark to go get some right now, so I just went into the mines. Afterwards, I headed back up and then got to work on a pretty sophisticated entrance. You step on a pressure plate, which is right next to a piston, and then the piston pushes gravel, which pushes you up so you can walk over the wall. Then behind you, the piston retracts and the gravel falls down, sealing off the wall again. It's pretty caveman, but I thought it was pretty ingenious because I came up with it myself. After that, I started digging, outlining, and filling in the moat. I got like half of it done, and I even have a fancy waterfall coming off this cliff side, so that's pretty hype. I went back inside the wall, and I used my fancy piston door by the way, and then I tilled and planted the farm. I used a bunch of bone meal and I got it completely filled in, which is always nice. I added some paths around the base and then added the other piston entrances. Then I lit up the outside of the moat ring. Look at that, it works. I tried to do the other side of the moat, but I just had no cobble, so I worked on the bridge instead. Eventually, with the sun rising, the hour was over. Hour 6, I worked on expanding the bridge out to the mountain. I'm here now, but I need to build something for this to actually lead to so it's not pointless. I scouted out the area on top of this hill, and the base looks great from up here by the way. Beautiful view. I settled on building in this little plateau area right here, and then, just to test, I pillared up to find out how close max height was. It wasn't that far up, so after finding that out, I started digging down. While I was getting down though, I had an idea to turn this dirt pillar into a giant fountain. So I outlined an area, filled it in with some water, and then pillared up with stone. Then I carefully made my way down and made some splitters to give the waterfall some depth. I was going to add the water, but night was coming, and I didn't want to get caught out here. Just let me do this real quick. Okay, now we can go home. You gotta admit that the bridge looks awesome. I mean, come on. Let's go mining! I desperately need stone. I forgot wood. I have to go all the way up there and back down. Okay, now we can go mining. I'm gonna mine for a while, which might be kind of boring to watch, but hey, it's part of the game. Oh yeah, an 8 vein, that's always awesome. You know, I kinda do not like redstone in this version. It takes so long to mine, and it just clogs up your chest and your inventory. As someone who doesn't really use it, it's really just in the way. I hate having to mine through it. A slime! Whoa. Heck yeah, now I can get sticky pistons. Oh. Guess not. I kept on mining, but eventually I ran out of inventory space, so I just went home. I came up, and it's the very start of the night. Great. I threw almost a stack of iron into the furnace, which is awesome, and then I got an idea to make a whole furnace hut. So I got on that. I made it of brick, which is really bougie, but while I was building, spiders kept attacking me, and it looks like they're getting in by jumping up to the wall and then climbing into the base. So I'll have to fix that again. Stray did a good job protecting me, but he's almost dead and I have no meat to feed him with. So I guess we'll just have to suffer. Oh, never mind. Some pigs just spawned right in front of me, so I guess Stray does get to eat today. Morning's here, so I'm gonna go finish the fountain. First, I had to finish the cobblestone roof on the furnace room. After I was done with the furnace hut, I immediately used the furnaces in the house and ignored the furnace room ones. I need to make some charcoal, but for that I need wood, so for that I planted a bunch of saplings everywhere. I also made some blinging diamond armor, just for fun, and then I headed off to the fountain. I got the water poured, but then I got distracted by a brown sheep in the corner of my eye. Brown wool is pretty rare in this version, so it's cool that I found a brown sheep. I kept on exploring in the area, and I found this awesome valley that is just the peak of beta generation. It is so cool. It had pumpkins and sugarcane, which I kind of forgot were in this version, and mainly it had this awesome overhang that I really want to build something in. It's just so cool. Maybe some sort of mine or something, I don't know. Not now though. For now, I went back to the fountain, and even though night was coming, I figured I was strong enough in my diamond armor to just ignore the haters and keep building. I set up a little outpost and cleared out the area and decorated the fountain. I put torches in the fountain, which I think looks super cool. The haters sure were hating though, but I just let them hate, and I watched the money pile up. With the sun rising and this absolutely awesome view of the base, Hour 6 was over. Hour 7, I got started on clearing some trees up on top of the hill. I want to build something up here, but I don't know what. First thing that came to mind is a castle, but I already kind of have a castle down there, and I'm also desperately low on cobble, so I don't know about that one. So I kept thinking while I chopped some trees. I set up a sugarcane farm and turned it into a waterfall, so I spent a while carving out a channel for it to go down into the lake. Then after that, I went back to chopping. I expanded the bridge some more, but then I ran out of stone and night was here, so I headed home. The waterfall and the fountain look epic. I made a little mini fountain inside the castle for the sake of infinite water, which is kind of like the bigger fountain's little brother. I made some charcoal using birch wood because I'm definitely not building with it, and then I headed down into the mines and expanded the strip mining tunnel until my pick was pretty much dead. I came back up, harvested and replanted the wheat farm, which is always nice. I actually used the furnace room, and then I made rails for the bridge. I had to experiment with the old mechanics on the minecarts, but it's pretty much the same. You just can't move on your own and you can't jump out. You have to push the minecart to get it started, and you have to break it to get out of it. I built the minecart track, tested it, and it works. Then I worked on the upper area, which I have decided I'll make into a tree fort. To do that, I'm going to plant a ring of saplings around the outside, which will slowly grow into a wall of wood. To do that though, I needed some dirt, so I worked on leveling out this little area beneath the fountain. I decorated it and added a little fence. In the morning, I had to fight off this skeleton floating in the fountain, who's kind of so dumb he's smart. Then I planted the sapling wall and took the minecart home to resupply. I got what I needed and then finished the road, adding torches and then the rail. I finished that, then harvested the sugarcane, built up the plateau for the base, and then added a ring of saplings around the edge, which will slowly grow into a wall for free. I got creeped on, which destroyed one of the lapis blocks I had in the fountain, but thankfully I just so happened to have an extra one in the chest to repair it with. How lucky. I added a fence along the fountain, and then the night was over, and so was hour 7. Good morning. I got creeped on, but after dealing with that, I decided that today's project was to add some walls and maybe a roof to the section of the bridge that is on the same level as the land, so that way I don't get attacked by mobs while I'm riding the minecart. I added wooden supports and then went home for a quick resupply. Then I added cobblestone and fences in between the logs to act as a wall. I was working through the night because I felt safe enough here to do so, but apparently I was wrong because I got creeped on. When that happened, I noticed that some of the fences that dropped were also ginormous like the cactuses were, and so are the stairs. So I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the fact that they're not full solid blocks, so for some reason they get enlarged. I started working on the roof of the tunnel, and after getting the straight part done, it looks pretty good. I started working on the slanted sections, but I was worried that they'd suffocate you in a minecart. Thankfully though, after testing them, they worked just fine, even if it is a little cramped when you're walking inside of it. I rode the rail home real quick since I was already on it, and then I came back to add glass skylights and torches on the top of the tunnel, which looks great. I was working on the lower part, but then I got knocked off and chased back home. I went back up the hill and then got creeped on for a third time in 1 hour. Bruh, that's gotta be some kind of record. I finished the lower part of the rail tunnel, and now it's time to work on the upper part. I finished the upper roof and then incorporated it into the base, which I think is pretty nice. I added a little painting inside of this wall for some decoration, and then I called it done. Enjoy this little minecart ride. It looks awesome from up here. The world is coming along so nicely. Oh, that's cool. I just watched a spider use my piston door. Uh-oh. After that, I spent the rest of the night chopping trees until the sun rose, and then hour 8 was over. I started by chopping trees, and then I decided to build a road over the cacti island. I got distracted though and tamed these 2 dogs first, and then I went on a murder spree. Then I got to work. I made the path out of gravel because, unlike the modern game, it looks super nice as a path block. I wish we still had this texture, honestly. I built the path all the way down to the channel, where I made a cobblestone bridge that was supported by a set of logs. I wanted to build a little fishing shack here, so the road would have something to lead to, but the night was here. Look at that twilight, that is awesome, I love that. I went back to the base and chopped trees. After a night of what can only be described as tree surgery, poking around looking for all those little tiny logs and wood bits in the leaves. I think tree surgery is a pretty good name for it. Anyways, day was here and I can go back to work on the fishing shack road. I started on the house, but I quickly needed more supplies, so I made my way back. On the way, I added these light posts to the path, and then back at base I grabbed some glass and other stuff, and then I went back to finish the house. It's nice. It has a dock, a roof, and around the back it has this little beach area with an umbrella and some beach chairs. If you use your imagination, these are little tiki torches too. It's very cute. I like it. But it seems like God doesn't because it just started raining. Finally, I used my very rare brown wool to make some coconuts on these palm trees. And I definitely just saw the leaves decay right in front of me, but I'm just gonna ignore that and pretend like they won't look like toothpicks in a couple days. Finally, I went fishing and I cooked up one to eat. It's a really nice and cute shack. I like it a lot. Finally, I just went mining for the rest of the hour. I hadn't played in a little bit, so I wasn't really sure what to do. So I just cleaned up these floating leaves while I tried to remember. Oh yeah, I remember. I wanted to build a road over to the Cactus Island Bridge and build a pyramid there. So I got to work on digging that. After I was done, I laid all the gravel I could, but I quickly ran out. I was filling in this dirt area when I got an idea to turn it into some sort of lake with a little waterfall. So I started doing that. But then I got double distracted by this one block of dirt, and instead of removing it, I was going to build a flag on top of it. It might seem super impulsive, but I think this way of playing makes the game more fun. At least for me. I dyed some wool and I made an American-esque flag. USA! USA! Night was here, and after admiring the beautiful land, I went down into the mines like the good boy I am. On the way down, I realized I can go to the Nether, can't I? I'm pretty sure I can. I'm pretty sure it's in this version. I went down to the lava pool I remember finding earlier, and I got to mining obsidian. And holy moly, it takes so long. BTA absolutely spoiled me with its fast obsidian mining. It takes so long. So sleepy. After getting done with the obsidian, I headed down this cave, which led to absolutely nothing. Oh wait, never mind, some diamonds, heck yeah. I headed up and I decided I should make a clock so that I can tell what time it is when I'm down in the mines. Oh, never mind, I'm 1 gold short. I started work on the portal and I decided to build it sort of sunken into this hill here. Oh cool, I lit the portal and it summoned a lucky brown sheep. I added a roof and some supports to try to make it a little less ugly. Okay, there we go. Then I cleared out a path in front of it, but I'm going to use netherrack so I left the floor blank for now. For Netherrack though, we have to go into the portal. Psych, I had to give my friends a world tour real quick. Okay, I grabbed a bow, just in case, and then I headed in. I spawned inside of this little nether cave, which is honestly good because it's nice and safe. I mined some netherrack and a little bit of glowstone I found, and then started wandering around the caves trying to find the open nether. I made a bunch of rat tunnels trying to follow the sound of the gas I heard, but I just kept on mining and I could not find anything. So after a little while, I gave up and headed back. Before I went back to the portal though, I made this little creepy smiley face looking thing on the wall for some reason, and then I headed back into the overworld. That was cool, I guess. I added the netherrack to the path, and this whole area with the lake and the flagpole and the portal and everything, it looks pretty cool. The night's almost over, and it's almost daytime, but I'm gonna go down to the mines and stay there all day until I get enough gold for a clock, and lots of gravel and cobblestone. I mined until my pickaxe broke, but not a single piece of gold was found. So I went back home, hanging my head in defeat. A lot of defeat today. I couldn't find the nether, and I couldn't find any gold. So I just cooked pork chops until the sun came up. Which kind of sounds like an old man saying. Cooking pork chops till the sun comes up. This kind of sounds like something your grandpa would say. Anyways, hour 10 was over. Day was here, so I could finally do things. I finished the path up to the Upper Cactus Island Bridge, but as you can see, there's not really a bridge here, so we had to make that. I was trying to make it all fancy, but I ran out of smooth stone, so I had to go back and get some. On the way back though, I got distracted and I was going to fill in the lake next to the nether portal. I wanted to have some depth, but old Minecraft was just not having it. So I had to fill it all in and just make it flat. I finished that and now it's nighttime, so I went back inside. I felt stuck in the walls because it was nighttime and I didn't really know what to do. I harvested the wheat farm and then I decided I should make a dog house for my 3 dogs. I used the last of the brick I had for the floor and then I made the walls out of stone. I added this little water bowl inside and also a chest full of cooked pork chops. I used the 2 more rare brown wool I had for a doggy bed, and then I got the dogs inside and I decided to name them all. We have Stray, Rat, and Mutt. I can't tell them apart if they move, but oh well, they are just computer code. Night was over, but the rain wasn't. I finished the roof and then I got back to work on the bridge. I got it finished and then I decided I also want to make a roof to protect from the rain. But right as I started making the roof, the rain stopped. I worked on it for the rest of the day, but as always, night came while there's still more that I wanted to do. Whoa, world bugged out again. Someone in the comments told me how to fix this, but I don't remember how, honestly. It's kind of cool how you can see the mineshaft in there. Kind of looks like a big rib cage or something. Anyways, time to relog. I got back in and I decided to just thug out the night and keep building anyway. I added these light posts and made a little pyramid for the path to lead to. I don't have much sandstone and I don't feel like getting more, so this is just how big it's going to be. I made these little fire lamppost things around the pyramid, and then I went back to the base to get a diamond block to put on top of it. Truly balling to the highest degree. I made this sort of secret room inside the pyramid. Inside I made a glass floor with a pool underneath, and if you look really closely you can see the smiley face I put in there. I don't know why I keep making smiley faces everywhere, but whatever. Between the fishing shack and the pyramid, Cacti Island looks pretty awesome. I decided to finish the other half of the moat before I work on Hour 12's project. I got it dug out, including this little waterfall area, and once again I thugged it out through the night. I continued to outline, light up, and fill in the moat through the night. Now that that's done, it's time to add a secret room behind the waterfall because it just has to be there, it's just the law. It's not much right now, but mostly it's just a proof of concept. I can add more later if I want to. It's not too visible from the outside, but if you know to look for it, it is pretty obvious. Then I headed up the hill as Hour 11 faded away. Hour 12, I just worked on the tree for a house for the whole hour. It was a fun and relaxing build session. Alright, the house is done, so here's the tour. Coming out of the minecart rail, you can see the entrance to the house. Taking a left, you can see this beautiful fountain we have next to the sugarcane farm. Looking over this fence here, we have an amazing view of the base. Absolutely breathtaking at night. I love it. Heading back around here, we have the facade of the house. You can see it's 2-layered. We have this little outside area with a little patio. And then, walking inside, we can see this amazing carpet we have on the floor next to the computer. Head upstairs, we have our main sort of living area. We have some furnaces, storage, decorations, some fancy glow-stone lights, books for reading that you don't do. Then outside we have this main wraparound balcony. That's pretty much it for the house. I added some leaves to finish off the house and then rode the minecart back home. This world has come together so well, from the cacti island with the pyramid and the beach house, to the tree fort and this little path area by the nether portal, and the castle. Everything is just so nice. Even though the graphics aren't that good, it just is so pretty. This is the first half of the series, and the next one I plan on doing a lot more. I want to expand the other half of the bridge out to wherever that'll go to, as well as this path that leads nowhere currently. With that being said, hour 12 and this video are coming to an end. Now that we're halfway, what do I think so far? Do I think beta's better? I don't know. This little world is the most fun I've had in Minecraft in so long. All the builds in this little pocket of the world fit together so nicely. But even though I've had so much fun, for some reason I just can't bring myself to say it's better. Maybe I'm in denial. I will say I do like playing on this world more than my Better Than Adventure world or my 1.21 world. Maybe that's because I played this world with a different kind of attitude, or I just got a good seed, or I just got lucky, or whatever. But it has been super fun. Right now, I still don't think beta is better. Although, we'll see if the next 12 hours change my mind. With all that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.